The people came to Moses and said, "Ask the Lord if we are still allowed into the promised land. If anyone is bitten by a snake, that person should look at the bronze snake on the pole. I will then accept everyone into the promised land. I will pretend you are not sick and I will heal your sickness as soon as you enter the promised land."
As I said, this story is not in the Bible. However, I think it would go surprisingly well with Christian dogma. The weird thing in this story is the fact that God does not heal the Israelites. He merely accepts that they are sick. This is what Christian dogma teaches. According to most Protestant denominations, God does not save us from sin. He merely accepts our unrighteousness by pretending that we are as righteous as Jesus, even though we are not. According to most denominations, when you believe in the crucified Jesus and accept his sacrifice, God suddenly gains the ability to pretend that the sins are not there. So in this story I'm comparing sinfulness to sickness. I believe that a just God heals and does not leave you in sickness. I believe that a just God heals and does not leave you in sinfulness. When people say that they believe Jesus has freedom from sin, most of them don't really mean that, because they don't really believe that. What they really mean is that they believe that Jesus had freedom from some punishment that would follow sin. This is not biblical, however. I know you guys, Christians, and specifically the Sola Scriptura people, I know you absolutely adore the Bible, but you seem to have trouble believing that Jesus' sacrifice actually does save you from sin, and that's not just a trick in order to get God to allow people into heaven. We are not slaves of Satan because we are doomed. We are slaves of our Satan because we are living in sin. It is indeed true that Jesus saves us from damnation, but he does that by saving us from sin. I believe that this proposition of mine is more moral than the proposition of the church. And, in addition, this also doesn't contradict the Bible, not that I know of. In fact, it provides an explanation for all the times that the Bible seems to suggest that you are saved by your works and not by your faith. Because the thing is that those who accept Jesus get cleansed by his blood. This is why works are proof of faith. And this is why faith without works is dead. Everyone who has faith, or rather believes in Jesus, and does not live like Jesus, is visibly not cleansed by the blood. For some reason, the characters in my story don't seem to care that they are sick. This is exactly how people are in reality. They don't give a damn about their sinfulness. Actually, they don't give a damn about anything in general. Why would they? They're humans. Humans just don't give any damns. The only thing people do give a damn about is their damnation. Because humans are sinful and therefore selfish. They can only think of their own needs, and they fail to realize that God desperately wants a mankind that is not sinful on earth and in heaven. So that means not only later in heaven, but also now on earth. And because they fail to realize this, they do not see that God cannot simply pretend that the sinfulness is not there. God doesn't pretend we are like Christ. That's quite frankly silly, because the sinfulness needs to get healed. And God does that. And that's why Jesus died on the cross. To save us from sin, not just to save us from damnation. Jesus took our old man with him on the cross, so we can be reborn as a new man in Christ. Don't you ever feel God speaking in your heart that you must turn away from your sin? Why don't you listen? Why do you say that it's a lie from Satan? Why do you say that this is Satan trying to tell you that you are not good enough for God? Is Satan seriously telling you to stop sinning? What the hell? That's way out of character for him. Satan is not trying to heal you. God is. God heals. God is the one telling you that your sinfulness is disgusting, and you have made him out to be Satan. We are saved through faith alone, and there's nothing we need to add to it. That's a lie from Satan. But isn't that biblical? Well, no, it bloody isn't. We only need to have faith for God to cleanse us from sin with the blood of Christ. Because that's what justifying means. Justifying is destroying sin, not covering it. The point that Paul is making here is that in order for God to grant us his Spirit, and with that the good works that go with that Spirit, we don't need to do anything. We only need to have faith in God's work. Because our works that we do in Christ, that's not our work, but it's God's work. Because God is working through us. If that wasn't the point that Paul was making, then he would have contradicted that one other apostle. You know, the one they say Martin Luther wanted to throw in the fire. The one that said that faith without the works is dead. Keep on sinning, it's alright. and let those who suffer, suffer. I don't have any obligation to help. That's your Satan speaking.